Hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. This is Grace, and I want to share with you my layout share for September. Sorry, I had to think about that. Like, what month are we in? I'm sorry, my brain is fried. School started for me, and I'm just taking care of school and family and trying to squeeze in some creativity time here and there. And so I'm sorry if I'm forgetting what month we are in. Anyways, it's so interesting because I feel like I'm busy, and yet I was able to make 12 pages for the month of September. Kind of crazy, and we're not even done yet. So anyways, let's go on with our share. So first of all, I didn't make a homemade kit this month because I wanted to use up some of the new stuff that I have, and so it's just kind of mixed in with whatever project they worked with. So does that make sense? Like, I just kind of put together page kits instead of a whole kit, and then use the same supplies for all of my layouts. Although some of these pages, you will see that some of the items that I've used in one kind of trickled to the other. Anyways, let's go ahead with the share. First one I want to show you is a double page spread. Oh, another reason why I was able to do a lot of pages, it seems like it, in the beginning of the month was because in the forum, in this private message board that I have joined recently, they were doing a speed scrap, and so I was really interested in that, and so I tried to do as much as I can before school started, and I think that's why I was sort of successful this month. So double page spread, and this one was based off of a sketch at scrapbook.com, and I did use I keep all of my Christmas stuff in one pack or in one bag, and so I just rummaged through there and used that for this layout. I did use a glittered paper to create my snowflakes, which was really fun. And then just a bunch of papers and accents that was in that Christmas bag. Okay, the next one is just a single page. And this one was also based off of a sketch. I think it's Stick It Down. Or maybe it's Let's Get Sketchy. I'm sorry, I can't remember. But it is based off of a sketch. It doesn't have a process video, but it's pretty self-explanatory. I just layered some papers and then made my title over here on the top. And then I added some phrase stickers and then kind of divide that with some homemade enamel dots. And that is it. My journaling was already pre-typed, and it was super easy to make that. Next one, this is based off of a sketch at Stuck Sketches for the month of September. And this is one of my favorite photos right now. And it was really hard for me to, like, I love the photo. I don't know if you've ever had that feeling that you love a photo and you want to scrapbook it right away, but you don't want to get it wrong because you love it so much that you don't want to, like, mess it up and have to, like, I don't know, peel the photo and redo a page, or I don't know if you ever do that. I never do that. I just, however the page is, that's how it's going to be forever. But so I was very careful in planning the page that I wanted, and just so happens that the Stuck Sketches was good for as a base for me to use for the foundation of this sketch. And then I used this, if you can believe it. These are all scraps except the white and the blue cardstock. That is my base. So even this wide panel right here are scraps, and then all these papers are scraps as well. And then this one, I've cut this in my silhouette, and I've talked about this before. You can look it up at the tip video playlist in my channel. And then here is another single page. This one was super easy because I had 4x6 photos. So all I did was basically add some paper strips on the top and the bottom, and then I did add a few other elements just to have a visual triangle. Now these horses, what I did was I have a die cut, a steel die cut that's a horse that I got from Diversions when I was in their design team. And when I was going through my stuff, I was thinking of purging it, but I felt like, you know what, I'll probably, maybe I'll use a horse. I'll need a horse die cut one of these days. 2 years later, I did use a horse die cut. So that was kind of fun to be able to find something in my stash that was ready for me to use. So what I did was I actually punched it, or yeah, punched it out of, not punched, sorry, die cut it out of the paper, this pink paper, and then I grabbed some scraps and then put blocks of scraps behind it. So you think that the horse was actually cut from the green, but it's actually from the pink. So that's a little bit about that. And then this is another single page, and I used a bunch of scraps here. I was playing with my new memory box nesting dies, the rectangle ones with the stitched edge, and so I just went through my scraps and just die cut a bunch of rectangles, and I just happened to have some 2x3s of this particular event, and so that was perfect for me to add inside those rectangles. And then I did add my journaling and other items on the other panels, but it was super easy to do this, and I used a lot of scraps, so that was fun. And then this one is, okay, this is called Crazy Kid. And as you can see, what is the kid in here? Well, in the journaling, I talk about how I was working out and one time, and then my son decided to go into our laundry room where we have some shelves for food storage, and he decided to climb up those shelves, and then he managed to pull down the very top shelf where I had a bag of sushi rice, because I like to make sushi for my family. Well, actually more California rolls than sushi, but it's still, and that's a very expensive pack of rice. Anyways, all I heard was like this bang, clank, and then just rice all over the floor. And so it made me really mad, and but I wanted to document how I've totally forgotten how crazy little crawlers and toddlers are, because if you've watched, you know that I have two older kids, a 13-year-old and then almost 11, and then I have a 2-year-old. But I just had to document that because I'm sure that we will be laughing at this particular story later. Well, I'm laughing at it now, but at that time I wasn't. But anyways, going back to the page, a lot of this were some scraps and then just layers of paper. This is based off of a sketch at Grand Divas Creations, I believe. And then this one is another page. I think I based it off of a challenge at scrapbook.com where you were supposed to use your scraps to create your own not make your own embellishments, but punch out a shape and then punch another smaller shape from that scrap. And so I made my own embellishments of balloons. So I punched out the circles and then I punched a star on the center of that circle, and then put another punched silver glittered paper behind it so that I can make my balloons. And then I also did some stencil and modeling paste and then mist in the background because I felt like it was a little bit dull of a background. So that is my page. And this is a 4x6 card from me and my big ideas. It was just September, and then I added birthday. And then this was based off of an ingredient recipe, or a recipe challenge over at scrapbook.com, and also based off of a sketch at Creative Sketches. And so I had 2 photos, and then my journaling is in the center, and I have a few die cuts here from my silhouette, the flower, the leaves, and the circle one right here. And then this one is a steel die cut and just thickers. If you have any questions of any of my pages, please don't hesitate to leave it in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to try to answer it as best as I can. This one was inspired by one of the sketches from that 6x6 class from that private message board that I belong to, and I was really inspired by it. So these 2 things were not 6x6 pads, as you can tell, because they're pretty long. But other than that, everything else, these papers over here, even these butterflies were stamped from the back side of the 6x6 pad. And this is my little boy. This is a story that I documented of how when he has an owie in his hand or on his head or arms or whatever, he comes to me, and so I kiss it. I literally kiss it, and it makes it better for him. And so I just wanted to document that. I did stamp my butterflies with 2 different inks, and I felt like the butterfly kind of represents him, kind of, you know, I want him to kind of fly, but he's still a little guy, so he comes to me for comfort, and I just love that feeling right now. Okay, this one is another one that's based off of a sketch from that 6x6 class, but instead of using 6x6, I actually used paper scraps. So I went through my scrap stash and just grabbed some papers that I felt coordinated. These are my photos right here, and they're, what do you call that? Sequential, is that what I said? Like, you know, you take them one after the other. And so there was a lot of, basically everything here is the same. So I just grabbed some colors that are on there, and I titled it "Where is Mason?" because he loves to, like, when I start cooking for dinner, I can't talk, that he would go into the kitchen and just go through all of our cupboards and our drawers and stuff, and unfortunately we have not, or we never did, child-proof our cabinets. Yeah, shame on us. But he just goes through that, and mind you though, that all those ones that he can reach, there are a lot of, they don't have anything that he can break or can hurt him. So a lot of plastic and like cupcake muffin tins and plastic containers for, you know, for what is it called? I can't think. For leftovers and things like that. But I titled it "Where's Mason?" because all these, you know, messes, and you have to really kind of look where he is, where the little child is. But anyways, I used the border scraps for the border over on this side, and then I just kind of layered a few enamel accents and some other things on there. And then this one was I created this for the Mercy Tierra September challenge, and the challenge was to create your own background. And so I don't know if you remember watching one of my videos in August, but I created this paper right here for I think a scraps challenge, and I didn't like it for the layout that I was going to make, so I scrapped it and I put it away. And like I said, when I do some things like that I take a lot of effort to make it, I don't just throw it away. I put it aside, and hopefully I could use it another time, and I did. So this, I punched out some scraps of paper with a kind of label punch, and then I did use some modeling paste and a heart stencil to go on there. And then what I did was to kind of mute down the colorful background, I did add vellum. And then I have 2 photos. This one was cut off my silhouette. And then because the background was really colorful, I decided to be colorful with part of my title as well. These are stickers from Simple Stories, and it worked really good for me because I actually have it here. Because these, as you can see, I am running out of letters, almost out of letters. I don't think I have A's and E's anymore with these sticker sheets, but I love these because they're different colors, but it worked well that I didn't have a complete set because I was able to do kind of a colorful title. So that is my page right there. And all of these are actually scraps, if you can believe that. Even the background. See that? I have already punched out circles or cut circles from the background. So it made me feel good to use my scraps on there. And then this is another double page spread. This was my last one for this month. And I've always wanted to do, well, I did this in 2011 where I took a day and I did a day in the life. And this was 2011, and I'm just now scrapbooking it because for some reason, I just never had the inspiration to tackle this project. So I finally got it done. What I did was, because I had blogged about the day when, just as after it happened, I already had all of the words on my blog post. So I just copy and pasted that on a Word document, and I used numbers and corresponded that to the kind of numbers with the pictures. And so with these numbers over here, they're smaller, and I have these, I think it's in my table still. I have these small stickers from Lily Bee Designs. And so I use the numbers on that because I rarely use numbers on my layouts. So I pull them out. And then for the numbers, corresponding numbers on the photos, I did use the same simple stories that I used in the previous layout for the numbers. So I didn't have reds, but what my initial plan was that the color that I used for like number 1 is the same color that I used for the number 1 photo. So hopefully whoever's looking at it could see that that corresponds with that number. And then I did add some more simple stories word stickers on all of my photos. And I also added that same kind of rainbow color effect of title. And this one is a Thickers from Amy Tangerine, and then just a few sequins, some washi tape, and a border, and that is my page. So I hope that you were inspired with all of my layout shares this month, and I hope that you will come back and watch some more of my process videos and my tips and other videos in my channel. And if you like these videos, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you when I see you. Bye guys.